Don't know nobody on this road that can save your soul. Almost lost control now. Tell me what you need in a friend and now. Pray that we endure to the end again. I'm just saying that I'm here for you. When the world turn against you, I'ma be with you. Got my sword in my hand, you can count on me. I won't run and hide, fight mightily.
Waiting on O.F.I. See the Jacob, I'm the apple of my father's eye. I learned the truth for who I was and it made me cry. If I don't keep the laws of Yah, then I'm gonna die. Living curses, but I'm edifying in my verses. Prepare the hearses for the heathens who be steady lurking.
Yo, Shalom, Shalom. Call out Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Mashiach, Womalak Yahushai. To the 12 tribes that scattered abroad, greetings, Salakia. I think I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties, right? I think I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Can you hear me? If y'all can hear me, drop a 7 in the chat, Lord willing. If you can hear me, drop a 7 in the chat. I think I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties because some reason. Okay, all praise to the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Well, let's get to it, man. All praise Yahweh Shem Mashiach, woman like Yahushai, Salakia. I normally do the man on Mondays, but with the new moon on Monday, I actually kind of got off of my schedule. So I'm tapping in. The work still must be done. The work still must be done. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, woman like Yahushai, we here to do the work. The work must go on. Right? All praise to the Most High. Tonight we're going to get into, as you see, the title, Stop the Cap. Did Jesus come for everyone? Did Jesus die for everyone, right? And he say, stop the cap, because there's a lot of false doctrines going out in the world that claim that who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, that he came and died for everybody. Now we know that that is not. All praise to the Most High. The music too loud. The water. I don't know why. Having technical difficulties with my computer, I actually can't hear anything, right? But I don't need to hear it myself. Yeah, Lord willing, the music is better now on that side. Drop a 7 in the chat, Baba Kashav. The music is better and not too loud, Most High willing, right? If music is better and not too loud. So look, y'all, the word Yahushai goes back into the ancient Paleo Hebrew, right? Jesus Christ. All right. So now what we're doing is that we've learned a lot of things in church. We learned a lot of things in secular religion and things of that nature. But now we got to get back to the basics, y'all. We got to get to the truth. We got to get to the truth, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So we're getting back to the truth. We're getting back to the right and to the true understanding. And the question is, did Yahushua, the world calls Christ, die for everyone? The answer is no. He did not die for everyone. And we're going to prove that, right? We're going to prove that. Now, we've put together this learning platform through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that breaks down various lessons when it comes to the ministry, breaks down various lessons when it comes to, the truth of the Bible. We are the Hebrew Israelites, right? Teaching to the lost sheep that are scattered to the four corners of the globe. All right. Greetings. So I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yahushua said it himself. I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the most important question to answer is, who did Yahushua come for? Did he come for every nation on the planet, Did he come to save the world universally? Or did he come for a specific people, the lost sheep of the house of Yasha'Allah, right? Let Yahushua answer his own words. The Bible says, let God be true and every man be a liar, right? Yahushua's own declaration. A declaration is to declare, to state something. Matthew 15 and 24. And Christians don't like to deal with this verse, right? Well, Christians in Christianity don't like to deal with this verse, all right? And we're going to get into it. This is the single most important verse in this study that we're going to go over. Where Yahushua himself, the Messiah, declares himself who he was sent to. We're not talking about, it's not what a disciple said. It's not what a prophet said. Well, he is a prophet, but you get what I'm saying. It's not what a scribe said. It's not what an apostle said. We're going to the Messiah himself and what he tells us plainly. Now, it's a couple keys in the etymology and in the language and the linguistics that we have to get to understand when we go over these verses. In the Hebrew, you're going to see son, which means flock or sheep, the people of Yahweh's pasture. You're going to see in the Greek, probaton, which means sheep as well, sheep, the covenant people of Yahweh. You're also going to see eklektos in the Greek, which means chosen or elect. This is referring directly to Israel as the elect people of God. And then also in the Hebrew, you're going to see which means a people. Yahweh's covenant people, distinctly from Goy or Goyam. All right, distinctly from Goy or Goyam. You're never going to hear or see this Hebrew word, this H5971. You're never going to see this word used to talk about the Goy, the Goyam, the actual heathen nation people that are non-Israel. Matthew 15 and 24. But he being Yahushua, answered and said, I am not sent, but means except. We're going to get into that. Unto the lost sheep, right? This probaton of the house of Yasha'Allah, of the house of Israel. I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep. Look, the Greek probaton, G4263, which we show you right here. This probaton referencing sheep, the same thing you see as a reference to the covenant people of Yahweh. Now, in chapter 2 of this study, we're going to break down the covenant people, because remember, the covenant originally, not to get too ahead of myself, but originally the covenant was never given to a nation first. The covenant started with a single person, with Abraham in Genesis, the 17th chapter, right? The commission. Now, people talk about the Great Commission, all right? And this is why, let me finish this up here, my bad. So this is not a suggestion. This is not an interpretation. This is Yahushua's own testimony. And we know Yahushua's testimony is a true and faithful testimony. He is a true and faithful witness by Shema Mashek, woman like Yahushua, right? So when we get to it, we see that this is Yahushua's own testimony of who he was sent to. The word but, as you see, he says, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. In Greek, it's ime, which means except. He was not sent. He was sent to no one except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You got to get into the Greek, the Hebrew. You have to get into the lexicons, the etymologies, so forth and so on, because we realize as scholars, the Bible was not originally written in English. It was transliterated and translated into various languages, primarily from the Hebrew and the Greek to the English, the Spanish, and all the other languages, right? Moving back on the Great Commission. Now, when Yahushua said he wasn't sent, but, which means except, it may, to the lost sheep of the house of Yasha'Allah of Israel, people get it twisted and say, well, hey, what about the Great Commission? What about Matthew 10, the 10th chapter, where he, where he's commissioned the apostles and the disciples? Well, let's contextually look at that, right? Let's examine that. The commission, Matthew 10 and 5 through 6. Before Yahushua sent his 12 disciples out, he gave them specific instructions. He did not say go to every nation, go to every people. He didn't say that. He said actually the exact opposite. All right. He said the exact opposite. Matthew 10 and 5 through 6. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Goyam. Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, which we're going to do a breakdown on the Samaritans as well, right? Because we do know with the Assyrian captivity that a lot of the Samaritan cities were displaced by the Assyrians, and they actually had heathen living in there in certain times as well, which we'll get into in another class, but put a pin in that. But go rather, but however, go rather, it's a causative, right? Go rather, and this is a direct command from Yahushua, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So go not into the way of the Gentiles, go I am, H1471. He told them, do not go to the heathen nations. Do not enter the Samaritan cities. Go only to the lost sheep. Son, remember this son right here? We talked about that in the Hebrew up here. This son, the flock or sheep, the people of Yahweh's pasture, right? But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Yasha'Allah. This is a direct command, all right? Let's talk about the dog. The Canaanite woman in Matthew 15, 22 through 28, because oftentimes people will run here and they'll say, well, what about the Canaanite woman? She got a crumb. Well, the crumb is not the bread. The bread is the salvation. The crumb was her daughter was healed. And let's get to that, right? This encounter is one of the most powerful proofs that Yahushua's ministry was exclusively to Yasha'Allah. He didn't have an all-inclusive ministry. It was exclusively to Yasha'Allah, which lines directly up with the prophecies, right, of him, Yahushua coming, his death, his burial, his resurrection. And it also lines up with the prophecies even in Revelations, right, of his second coming and of the kingdom of the 144,000 in Revelations, the 8th chapter, I believe that is, right? This encounter is one of the most important proofs that Yahushua's ministry was exclusively to Yasha'Allah. A Canaanite, who was a Hamite, not Israelite, woman, not of the house of Israel, came begging for help. Watch how Yahushua responded, okay? Matthew 15 and 22 through 28. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast. So it's telling you her nationality is a Canaanite, and she was in that coast, right? And cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter, look, she knew who he was, thy son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. And look, she said, Lord, help me. He's telling, I'm not your Lord. And she said, truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table, showing subservience, right? Canaanite, I will break it down. Then Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Now let's break this down verse by verse. Verse 22, she is identified as a woman of Canaan, not of the house of Yasha'Allah. She calls him son of David, acknowledging his Israelite lineage, not hers, which is another cut on the virgin birth and all of those type of things, right? Verse 23, Yahushua answered her not a word. He ignored her. His disciples told him to send her away. Verse 24, he repeats, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Yasha'Allah of Israel. He's explaining why he is ignoring her. She is not part of his mission. He's ignoring her. Verse 26, he calls her a dog. It is not meat, which means it is not good, it is not profitable, it is not correct to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. The children equal Israelites, Yasha'Allah. The dogs equal the other nations. The bread, salvation, the promises, right? The covenant. Verse 27, she agrees. Truth, Lord. She accepts that she is not one of the children. She asks only for crumbs, not for the bread itself. She didn't say, well, you know what? You're wrong. Give me some of that bread. Run that bread, son of David. She said, truth, Lord. Just give me the crumbs. And she didn't even want the crumbs for herself. She wanted the crumb. What is a crumb? To heal her daughter. Verse 28. Because of her great faith and humility, the other nations need to have faith in Yahweh, and they need to be humble. Know your place. Acknowledging her place, he granted her request. But this does not change who he was sent to. Key point. The children's bread belongs to Yasha'Allah. The bread represents the gospel, the covenant, the promises, and I can say the covenants too, if you want to be specific, being the old and the new, the promises, the salvation. You got to understand this Canaanite dog woman who Yahweh acknowledged that she was a dog and who she acknowledged she was a dog. She didn't come asking for the bread. She never once asked Jesus Christ, Yahweh for salvation. She never did that. She asked for the crumb for her daughter to be healed. All right. He came for the children, the house of Yasha'Allah. Right. So when he said, Yahweh said, it is not meat, means it's not proper and it's not right to give to others the bread, which is the covenant, the promises, the salvation, the gospel. That was for the house of Israel, for the children. So peep the John 10, my sheep hear my voice. In John chapter 10, Yahweh identifies himself as the good shepherd and speaks plainly about who his sheep are and who they are not, and they're not the other nations. John 10 and 14 through 16. I'm the good shepherd and know my sheep and am known of mine. So you got to understand this, right? Yahweh knows who his mission is for. He has a perfect mind, all right? He perfectly executed the will of his father. Yahweh didn't have the spirit to get sidetracked, all right? He wasn't going to get sidetracked and, get off of his mission and start trying to convert and save heathens, right? Heathens of the other nations. Because we do know there's a context of heathen where Israelites are called heathen, but that's because they went off into idolatry, doing what the other nations do. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, hold on, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. This goes to Ezekiel 37, I believe verse 17. Let me get this real quick. I think I want Ezekiel, is it 37 and 17 or 12? 1 second. I think it might be 17. I'm looking for. Bam. No, it's not 17. It's not 17. Let me read up a little earlier. Maybe 12. Let me see. Bear with me, y'all. Zoom in a little bit. I'm looking for. Bam. Actually, it's down. It's 22. Ezekiel 37 and 22. Now, this is what he meant by other sheep that are not of this fold, that are another nation, because you got to realize this in proper context. In Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, if you start at verse 20, I'm going to start at verse 19. Say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, talking about the northern kingdom, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi chiefly, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. So this is a prophecy of the unification of the northern and the southern kingdom that was split after the time of Solomon, Jeroboam, and Rehoboam, the son of Nebat, right? And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before thine eyes, on peep. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, because the children of Israel, primarily the northern kingdom in this context, was scattered among the heathen, and they were acting like heathen, right? Whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. Now peep. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king, Yahushai, shall be king to them all. This isn't talking about David, right? David is already dead and gone by this time. And they shall be no more two nations. Hold on. Are you telling me that Israelites are referred to as two different nations in the Bible, in the prophecies? So the Most High God is saying he's not going to make them two nations anymore. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them, so they be my people, and I will be their God. And David, my servant, shall be king over them. Well, David was already gone at this time, right? The kingdom wasn't split when David was alive, right? That came after Solomon and after, his lineage, Rehoboam and Jeroboam, the son of Nebat or whatnot, right? So, bam. And they shall have one shepherd. This is talking about Yahushua, the good shepherd, right? John 10. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. So this is all going into, right? This is all going into what the John 10 is talking about. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. This fold, he's obviously talking to mostly the Jews of Jewry, the southern kingdom, who was primarily still in the land. And the other sheep of the other fold are Israelites, but still go into the northern kingdom, right? So other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. These are not random nations. These are the scattered tribes of Yashala in the four corners of the earth. The fold Yahushua is with at this moment is the house of Yahweh, the house of Judah that was in the land. The other sheep are the northern tribes scattered abroad. He must bring them all together, one fold, one shepherd. He's the good shepherd. All right, that's clear. John 10 and 26. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Now you got to understand this. One may say, well, hold on, I thought you said that these were his sheep he's talking to. Everyone that was in Jewry didn't believe on Yahushua. You had certain scribes, certain Pharisees, certain Sadducees, certain Essenes, certain sect of the Jews. They didn't believe on Yahushua. They didn't believe that he was the Messiah, right? They believed that righteousness came by the law. They didn't believe on Yahushua, plain on Jesus Christ, as the world will call it, right? That's what this context is in this portion of John 10 and 26. But when we're up here in 14 through 16, it's clearly referring to the northern kingdom that's scattered abroad, that were living as Gentiles, right? Bam. Ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. I went through that, right? So also Paul, all right, when we go into Romans, the 15th chapter, verse 8, Paul clarifies and solidifies that Yahushua's mission in plain English is to bring back those who were under the covenant, right? That's very important. Romans 15 and 8. Now I say that Yahushua HaMashiach was a minister of the circumcision for the truth of God. Look, to confirm the promises made unto the fathers. So Yahushai was there, and Slaki, what the brother say, Khan, and our great faith was because Israel gawked at the miracles like they were salvation or the whole loaf, and she had great faith because she understood that was just a crumb. Yeah, she only wanted a crumb for her daughter at that, right? All praise to the Most High. So bam, Yahushai was a minister of the circumcision. Now you got to peep this. The circumcision, which we're going to get to in the next chapter, Lord willing, the circumcision was given as the token of the covenant that the Most High God made in Genesis with Abram, whose name was changed to Abraham. So from that perspective, that circumcision was a token for the covenant that Yahweh made with Abraham. All right. So when you think about that covenant, it wasn't made with all nations. It wasn't made with all people. It was made specifically with one man. And then from there, his lineage, through his seed, going from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob, is where that covenant progressed through. All right. So Yahushai was a minister of the circumcision. He came for the circumcised people. Circumcision is a representation of the covenant people. Yasha Allah. Why? To confirm the promises made unto the fathers. This is bloodline lineage, the fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The promises were made to them and their seed, not to every nation on the planet. So that's clear, y'all. Not to every nation on the planet. Let's get Luke, the classic, 1:68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. Now look, in order to redeem, you had to first be deemed. Is to perform again. So you can't be redeemed if you were never deemed as people in the first place. What is the redeemed going into in the context? Is going into being brought back into perfection through the covenant. They redeemed through Yahushai's blood back into the fold, right? Zechariah, now this is John the Baptist's father too. Zacharias was filled with the Holy Spirit when he declared he had visited and redeemed his people. His remember, the covenant people. Not all people, not the world, his covenant people, Yasha Allah, right? His people, his This is back to the Hebrew, all right, where you're going to see. For now, a lot of people say, well, I thought all people were his people. Supersessionism, right? His people are now the multi-ethnic church, all right? His people are now the multi-ethnic church. That's what sometimes, people try to go into. No, that's not correct. His people are not the multi-ethnic church. That's not true. That's supersessionism. That's replacement theology, all right? We don't get down with that. People want to run to John 3:16. For God so loved the world, right? That he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever, you see, it said whosoever, and all of that, believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You have to understand the context of the word world, right? So John 3:16 is the most quoted verse in Christendom, right? The most misunderstood as well. It is used to teach that Yahushua, Jesus Christ, came for everybody. But when you break down the Greek and use precepts, the truth, Lord willing, becomes clear. Let's break down world. Cosmos. The Greek word translated world is cosmos. G2889. It does not mean every single person of the world, of the planet. Cosmos means orderly arrangement, a decoration, an ordered system. In scripture, world has multiple meanings depending on context. Once again, in scripture, world has multiple meanings depending on context. All right? So let's let the Bible define the Bible. All right? John 1:10. Now look, this is the word world used 3 times in 3 different contexts in one precept. John 1 and 10. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. You see the world 3 times, the same word cosmos, but used in different contexts, different understandings and meanings based on context. Look, 3 different uses of the word world in one verse. He was in the world, the physical earth. In the world, the ordered system was made by him. In the world, the people knew him not. The word cosmos changes meaning based on context in the Greek. And any Greek scholar would tell you this, right? Any Greek scholar that has true understanding, let me say it that way, right? Because some may profess themselves to be a scholar in Greek and may not have any understanding, right? In John 17 and 9, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. Second precept, Yahushua says, I pray not for the world. If world in John 3:16 means everyone, then Yahushua contradicts himself, and we know he doesn't. He loved the world, but does not pray for the world. That doesn't make sense. Unless the world in John 3:16 has to mean something different, something specific. The world of Yasha'Allah, his covenant people scattered across the earth. John 15 and 18 through 19. If the world hates you, Slakia, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. The world hateth you. If world means everyone, then everyone hates Yahweh's followers, which means they would hate themselves because they would have to be a part of that world as well, right? But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. The world here clearly means the system that's opposed to Yahweh and Yahweh's ministry. That's the context of this world. Not every human being on the earth, right? John 2 and 15. Love not the world. Hold on. I thought you were supposed to love the other. Wait, what? Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Love not the world. If world means every person, then we cannot love anyone, because it said love not the world. Clearly, world here means the worldly system, right? The same flexibility applies to John 3 and 16. World, the ordered world, the harmonious arrangement of Yahweh's covenant people, right? Another precept. John 18 and 20. Yahushua answered, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. Yahushua says he spoke to the world, but then immediately clarifies where? In the synagogue and in the temple where the Jews, Yahweh, always gathered. Remember, John 10, I have sheep not of this fold. He was talking about the northern kingdom because he was chiefly in the land with Judah, right? Always gathered. If world means every person on the planet, why did he only speak in Israelite gathering places? The world he spoke of was to the world of Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, right? Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Here, world, Hebrew, olam, is used in the phrase world without end, meaning age or eternity, not people. And notice who shall be saved with an everlasting salvation? Israel, not the whole world. So in context, this verse pairs perfectly with John 3:16. Israel is saved with everlasting life, world without end. Okay? Clear. Conclusion. The word cosmos in John 3 and 16. The world of Yasha'Allah. The ordered covenant people scattered across the earth. Not every person on the planet. The precepts prove this. The etymology prove this. The definitions prove this, right? So let's break down whosoever. Whosoever in the Greek, G3956 plus G3588. It's actually a compound word, pasho. Pasho. Whosoever in Greek is pasho, literally meaning all the or everyone who. It does not mean any random person on the planet. It means every one of them, specifically referring to the subject matter, which is the children of Israel. Every one of the sheep, every one of the covenant people who believe. The male analogy. If someone sends you a letter in the mail addressed to your name and at your address, can your neighbor open it and claim it's for them? No, it's a federal crime to open someone else's mail. John 3:16 is a letter addressed to Yasha'Allah, right? In that term, you have Nicodemus and you have Yahushua, two Jews, two Israelites, talking to each other about the Israelite people, the covenant people. Just because it says whosoever does not mean everyone can claim it. The letter is addressed to a specific people, whosoever among them who believes. You cannot take someone else's mail and say it's whosoever's, so it's mine. Matthew 10:5 again. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into the city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The whosoever is defined by who the message was sent to, the lost sheep of the house of Yasha'Allah, not every nation, not every person, the sheep. So we went over Matthew 15:24, John 17:9, John 10:26, Romans 9:13, Hebrews 8:8 goes into the new covenant, right? Which also says, for finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So even if you entertain that John 3:16 is in the New Testament after the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahushua, if we go into that whole situation, obviously in John 3, Yahushua is still alive. But if you're entertaining that ushered in the new covenant when Yahushua was on the scene, even if you hold to the understanding that the new covenant was ushered in after he died, Yahushua died, it wouldn't support your stance of him dying and being for everyone and everyone being in the new covenant, because it clearly says the new covenant is with the house of Judah and with the house of Israel, right? Psalms 147:19-20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. All right. So those 6 precepts all saying the same thing. Yahushua came for Yasha'Allah. He does not pray for the world. You cannot believe if you are not his sheep, right? He loved Jacob and hated Esau. The new covenant is with Israel and Judah, which are Israelites. He have not dealt so with any nation. He haven't given them his judgments, his laws, the covenant, right? John 3:16 is a covenant promise to the scattered sheep, not a universal invitation. All right. So let's go over some of the questions from the quiz. According to Matthew 15:24, who was Yahushua sent to? Every nation on earth, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matter of fact, I'm going to put these in the chat. I always say I'm going to do it. I'm going to, Lord willing, do it this time. I'm going to use the YouTube feature. I'll drop them in the morning, Most High willing. So stay tuned in. Lord willing, this was edifying through the Spirit. Once again, Salakia. I did not get to do the Man of Mondays, so I'm a little bit behind. Ashar Kadash Yarak, Happy New Moon, as we're in this 12th month of our Hebraic New Year, preparing for Passover. Y'all start removing the leaven out of your spirit. Start removing the slothfulness out of your studying. I'm talking to myself, right, as well. Stay 10 toes down in the faith. Keep the commandments. We're in the end days. Watch the prophecies. Get your households in order. Get your spirits right. Kwam Yashala. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Shalom, Malakian. Kwame Shalom.